How's it going, folks? I'm Des with DesFit, and this is the Apple Watch Series 7 and the new Garmin Venu 2 Plus, and these are currently each company's best offerings when it comes to smartwatches. In this video, we'll be comparing these two great watches that both offer a lot in terms of smartwatch functionality as well as being activity trackers, but there are some differences between these two that may make you want to choose one over the other. So Garmin tends to be more known for their sports and fitness watches, and Apple Watches are more known as smartwatches, but there's actually a lot of crossover with these two with both smartwatch as well as health and fitness features. So I've already got super in-depth reviews of both of these devices, which I'll have linked down in the description below, but this video is more of a deep dive comparison of the features between these two and how they differ from each other. I'm going to try to cover as much as possible in this video, including smartwatch features, battery life, sports and fitness features, as well as accuracy. But if there's something I missed that you'd like to know about, or if you'd just like to add to the conversation, definitely leave a comment in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, if the information does help you out at all, don't be shy about hitting that like button down below. It's a small little thing that you can do that'll help this video and the channel quite a bit, and I appreciate it. So first up, let's talk about hardware. The Venu 2 Plus comes in one size option with a 43.6mm case, and the Series 7 comes in two size options, a 41mm case and then the larger 45mm case, which is the size I'm wearing here. The Venu 2 Plus has the look of a round, traditional-looking watch, and the Series 7, well, looks exactly like an Apple Watch, so when it comes to style, that's totally up to you. Both have removable, replaceable bands, where the Venu 2 Plus uses industry-standard 20mm bands, and the Series 7 uses watch bands that are specific for Apple Watches, but with both, there are a ton of third-party bands to choose from, so plenty of customization options with either of them. With the Venu 2 Plus, this is offered in 3 different colors that you can choose from, but with the Series 7, this has a lot more options beyond just size, so you can choose 5 different colors in their aluminum model. There's also a stainless steel and titanium model with a couple different finishes, and then they also offer cellular models on top of all those. But when it comes to the watches I'll be showing in this video, I'm essentially using the base models on both of these. So this is the 45mm aluminum GPS Series 7 that usually comes in at $429, and then the Venu 2 Plus, it only has one option at $449. But as you get into the stainless steel, titanium, or cellular Series 7s, those start to go up in price. When it comes to interacting with these devices, the Venu 2 Plus uses a combination of a touchscreen along with 3 physical buttons. The touchscreen is snappy, it's responsive, and it's kind of just a joy to use. The Series 7 also has a touchscreen, which is also very nice to use, and it has 2 physical buttons, and one of those buttons is also what they call a digital crown or dial, which you can use to scroll through menus as well as other portions of the interface. The displays on both of these are super bright, they're vibrant, crispy, and just awesome to look at. The 45mm Series 7 has a 396 by 484 pixel display, where the Venu 2 Plus has a display resolution of 416 by 416. Both of these watches also do have an always-on display mode, which dims the display when you're not interacting with it to save on battery life, but still be visible so you can still glance at it without having to make a deliberate wrist movement to wake up the display. Both are also water resistant down to 50 meters, and you can shower with them and swim with either of these without any issues. Like I was mentioning earlier, the highlight feature of the Venu 2 Plus is that it has a speaker in the microphone that you can use to speak and listen through the watch itself for calls while you're in range with your phone. And the same thing can be said for the GPS version of the Series 7, that you'll have to have your phone nearby to have that call functionality. However, there is an LTE version of the Series 7 that's available that costs a little bit more. And just note that with that cellular connectivity, there's also an additional fee on top of your current cell phone plan. So with the microphones on both of these, you can use these for voice assistance using Siri when paired to an iPhone, but the Venu 2 Plus also can pair with Android phones. So when you pair it with an Android phone, you can use Google Assistant, and if you actually pair it with a Samsung phone, you can use either Google Assistant or Bixby. One thing that the Venu 2 Plus can do, however, with that speaker is play music through that speaker, and this is something that Apple doesn't currently allow. My theory is that maybe that would just drain the battery a whole lot of the Series 7, or they're just trying to sell more AirPods. I don't know, but I would think that would really be cool if they enable that functionality on the Apple Watch. And then when it comes to speaker quality, both are decent, but they're both small speakers on a watch, but I'd have to give maybe a slight edge to the Apple Watch here.
This is what the speaker sounds like on the Garmin Venu 2 Plus. And this is what the speaker sounds like on the Apple Watch Series 7.
And then when it comes to your smartphone of choice, well, with the Series 7, you can only pair this with an iPhone, but with the Venu 2 Plus, you can pair this with either an iPhone or an Android phone. Because Apple makes both the phone as well as the watch, there's a tight integration between the two, and you can think of the Series 7 as a very natural extension to your phone. It mirrors a lot of the same notifications from your phone. iMessage for text messages is very robust, where you can reply from the watch by writing on the screen, emojis, and even voice dictation. And with the Venu 2 Plus, although it does pair with an iPhone. Garmin's kind of at a disadvantage here because they don't make the phone, and Apple also does lock down some functionality exclusive just to Apple Watches, such as iMessage, where when you pair a Venu 2 Plus with an iPhone, you can receive notifications, but you can't reply. Well, sort of. So the Venu 2 Plus has a microphone, and you can use that microphone with Siri, and this opens up iPhone functionality a lot. So you can use Siri with voice dictation to send a text message with the Venu 2 Plus with an iPhone. Text Ray, want to meet in Spain again? And one more thing is that the Venu 2 Plus also does pair with Android phones, and in this case, you can reply to text with predefined responses that you can set up in Garmin Connect. And then again, with text as well as calls with the Series 7, you do have the option of purchasing the LTE version of the Series 7, but there currently isn't an LTE version of the Venu 2 Plus. Apple also has their App Store where there's a wide variety of apps that can extend the functionality of the Apple Watch from productivity, games, as well as sports and fitness apps. Garmin also has an App Store sort of thing called Connect IQ, and these apps also extend the functionality of the Venu 2 Plus, and there's a good amount to choose from in here, but it's not quite as vast as Apple's App Store. And then on the music side of things have actually gotten pretty close between these two in the last couple of years. So with the Series 7, you can download tracks to the watch itself using Apple Music, Spotify, as well as even Pandora. And with the Venu 2 Plus, you can download tracks using Spotify, Pandora, Deezer, as well as Amazon Music. But there is actually one difference here with the Series 7 with non-downloaded music. So you can actually stream Apple Music through Wi-Fi on the GPS models, and then Wi-Fi or cellular on the cellular models. And then both also do have contactless payments. So the Venu 2 Plus has Garmin Pay and the Apple Watch has Apple Pay. And then when it comes to battery life, well, the difference is going to be pretty drastic here. So with the Series 7, this can last about a day to day and a half with most of these standard settings, but I have gotten up to 2 days out of it, but I had to turn a whole bunch of stuff off, like the always on display, the SpO2 sensor, a bunch of stuff. With the Venu 2 Plus, you can pretty much count on this lasting at least 4 days, and that is with the always on display on, SpO2 sensor, a whole bunch of other stuff. So I would say that average battery life, probably a day and a half on the Series 7, average battery life on the Venu 2 Plus, maybe like 5 days. And then when it comes to GPS battery life for recording an outdoor activity, the Series 7 can record up to about a 6 to 7 hour long outdoor activity, and the Venu 2 Plus can record up to a 24-hour long outdoor activity. So a pretty big difference there. The Series 7 does offer faster charging than previous Apple Watches, where it can charge from empty to full in about an hour. And I have to say that this does make a big difference with the usability on the Series 7. So after about 24 hours with my typical usage of the Series 7, I still have like maybe 25% of the battery life. So that basically means that I only have to place it on the charger for like maybe 30 to 45 minutes to get a full charge to last me another 24 hours. And if you're ready for bed and you discover that you don't have enough charge, well, you can actually just place the Series 7 on the charger for 8 minutes, and that should be able to get you about 8 hours of sleep tracking. But the Venu 2 Plus also has a new rapid charge feature that if you plug it in for just 10 minutes, that should give you enough charge for an additional day as a smartwatch. Oh, and then both of these also do have battery conservation modes if you're low on battery. So on the Venu 2 Plus, it's called the battery saver mode, and on the Apple Watch, it's called power reserve, which turns off a lot of features to conserve on battery life. Both of these watches actually offer quite a bit in terms of safety features. So with the Venu 2 Plus, it has something called instant detection, which what it's designed to do is detect when you're in a crash or something like that. So the situation is like you're constantly moving, and then you suddenly come to a complete stop and stop moving. That's what it kind of classifies as an instant. And then what it'll do is send an alert to one of your emergency contacts with your location. The Series 7 also has something similar called fall detection, where it'll detect if you had a fall, and if you're immobile for about a minute, it'll automatically call emergency services. And then both of these also do have an SOS type feature, where with the Series 7, I think that's called SOS actually, and with the Venu 2 Plus, that's called assistance. And the Venu 2 Plus also has the feature called live track for outdoor activities, where you can actually send a link to the contacts of your choice who can actually follow along your outdoor activity in real time. Again, you will have to have your phone with you because it'll actually utilize your phone's cellular connection to send out that link, but you can actually even set this to automatically happen every time you start an outdoor activity. And then the Series 7, it does have one feature that the Venu 2 Plus does not have. It's called international emergency calling if you have the cellular model of the Series 7. There is also an emergency calling feature on the Venu 2 Plus where you can contact emergency services, but again, you'll have to have your phone with you for this feature. And then for health and fitness features, both of these watches offer a lot, where they can both track your heart rate, calculate your calories burned, they both can track your steps, and they both can track your sleep. Sleep tracking is more advanced though on the Venu 2 Plus out of the box, where it has Garmin's advanced sleep tracking with sleep stages. Although the Series 7 can track your sleep, the out of the box sleep tracking is more on the basic side of things, where it just tells you how long you've slept along with your respiration rate, but that's about it. However, there are some third-party apps that you can download that offer more advanced sleep tracking. Both of these have very good heart rate sensors, and we'll get into the accuracy of those sensors here in just one bit, but with the Venu 2 Plus, it'll constantly measure your heart rate 24/7. With the Series 7, I would say that it monitors your heart rate 24/7, but it doesn't take samples all the time. So it'll primarily take samples when you're sitting, periodically when you're walking, and it'll constantly take heart rate when you're working out. And then in addition, both of these can provide high and low heart rate notifications. And then with the Series 7, it also can inform you of irregular heart rate rhythms. And then both of these also do have an SpO2 sensor for measuring blood oxygen saturation levels, and I found both of these to be very close to its fingertip pulse oximeter. One feature though that the Series 7 has that the Venu 2 Plus does not is the ability to take an electrocardiogram or ECG, but the Venu 2 Plus does have a feature called Health Snapshot, which takes a bunch of different measurements all at one time, like your blood oxygen saturation level, heart rate, stress level, as well as respiration rate. And then from the activity tracking side of things, both of these offer something in terms of motivation when it comes to completing your goal. So the Venu 2 Plus, you have step goals, you can track your floors climbed, and they also have what Garmin calls intensity minutes, which are minutes spent doing vigorous activity. And with the Series 7, it has something that pretty much everyone knows about, and that's closing your rings, where each of these rings signifies different types of goals, such as a move goal, exercise goal, as well as a stand goal. The Venu 2 Plus does, however, offer a feature that I particularly like, which is called Body Battery, which gives you an indication of your energy levels throughout the day based on your sleep, activity level, as well as recovery. So both of these watches can track tons of different types of activities, including all of the common activity types like running, cycling, pool swimming, gym activities like the elliptical, yoga, and a whole bunch more. The Series 7 technically has more activity profiles, but there's also a difference in terms of how these profiles work. So there's going to be a lot of additional workout profiles here like basketball, cross-training, kickboxing, as well as soccer, but a lot of these are just additional profile names. So for instance, they do have a high-intensity interval profile, and although Apple may have specific algorithms to calculate calories for that kind of activity, that's kind of all you're getting with it. It just tracks your heart rate, time, and your calories, and that's about it. But with the Venu 2 Plus, with the Garmin high-intensity interval training activity profile, in my opinion, it's an actual profile that's built with specific functionality, where there's options in here where you can set up specific timers for different types of HIIT workouts like AMRAP, every minute of the minute, and Tabata. And then the Venu 2 Plus also has Garmin's strength training activity profile, which can automatically count your reps and attempt to identify the exercise that you're doing, as well as Garmin's skiing profile, which can automatically track your ski runs. However, there is one profile that the Series 7 does have that the Venu 2 Plus does not, and that's open water swimming, but there is a third-party app that you can download through the Connect IQ store that can track open water swimming on the Venu 2 Plus. And that does bring up another thing here, is that you can extend the functionality of the Series 7 quite a bit with third-party apps in the App Store, like Slopes for skiing. There's also some weight training specific apps, and there's also Work Outdoors, which has a tons of features that are too long to cover in this video. The Venu 2 Plus may have less activity profiles, but the information that you're going to get on the Venu 2 Plus is going to be more in-context information, like the amount of reps that you're doing or the amount of ski runs that you've had. And then when it comes to GPS accuracy, both of these will do a great job. If this was like a year or two ago, I would easily give the win to the Venu 2 Plus, but Apple's recently made a lot of improvements to their GPS accuracy on both the Series 7 as well as their previous devices. But when it comes to heart rate accuracy, let's first check out this indoor cycling session where I was actually wearing both watches. So there's virtually no difference here. If I had to nitpick, the Venu 2 Plus maybe had an ever so brief moment or two where it read about 4 beats per minute low, and the same thing right here with the Series 7, which read about 4 beats per minute low as well. But realistically, this is basically perfect. But then here's a run that I did with both watches where things are a little bit more interesting. So at the beginning, the Series 7 took a bit to settle in, where it had this sudden drop right here, then go a bit higher, and then finally settle in around 2.5 minutes in. I've seen this sort of behavior before on all Apple Watches, where they just kind of take a little bit more time to lock on at the beginning of workouts. Right here around 11 minutes in, the Venu 2 Plus had a moment where it tracked high, and then for a while, both watches were doing great. Then right around 23 minutes, the Venu 2 Plus read a little low, then got back in line, and then funny enough, the Series 7 dipped a bit here too. Overall though, these are pretty good results out of both of these, and both of these have great heart rate sensors. And you can tell that neither are perfect either, but I would rely on either of these. Oh, and then one more thing about that run actually is that this was a treadmill run, and both of these did a great job at estimating the distance run indoors. But the Venu 2 Plus just barely edged out the Series 7, but realistically a great job by both of these. One thing that the Venu 2 Plus can do, however, if for some reason the distance is off, is that you can manually calibrate it and enter the actual distance when you go to save your activity. Unfortunately, you can't do that with the Series 7. Fortunately, the Series 7, along with all other Apple Watches that I've tested in the past, do a phenomenal job at estimating indoor running distances. And then let's also talk about connectivity in terms of sensors or other devices that you can pair these with. So the Venu 2 Plus can pair to a bunch of external sensors out of the box, including Bluetooth as well as ANT+ sensors, whether those be heart rate monitors, speed and cadence sensors for cycling, as well as even Garmin Vario radar and lights for cycling. The Series 7 can pair to external heart rate straps, but it doesn't pair with other types of sensors that the Venu 2 Plus can. However, the Series 7 also does have Gym Link, which which can pair to compatible gym equipment, which is a pretty neat feature. Lastly, let's talk about their smartphone apps. So with the Venu 2 Plus, it basically has one app that you'll interact with most of the time, Garmin Connect, but you do also have the Connect IQ app, which is their app store, but you'll mainly be using the Garmin Connect app from a day-to-day basis. In this app is where you can access everything from your health data, all your workout data, as well as even managing your watch and all the associated settings. With this app, you can go deep in terms of analyzing your workout data, where it's got tons of data to scour over anything you want. With the Series 7, it has a few apps that you'll likely interact with on a day-to-day basis. So first, it has the Apple Watch app for managing your watch and all the settings. Then you have the Fitness app where you can view your workout data. And then it also has the Health app for your wellness data. So you may be hopping back and forth a bit with the Apple Watch with different apps to view all of your data. But both of these also do offer something in regards to training or workouts. So with the Venu 2 Plus, it has Garmin Coach, which has specific programs whether you're training for some common running race distances. It also has workouts, which you can download to the watch itself, where you can follow along for things like weight training as well as yoga. With the Series 7, that has Apple's Fitness Plus, which have workouts that you can follow along with as well. And the neat thing about these is that you can use your iPhone, iPad, or Apple TV to view the workout on a larger screen and to broadcast the heart rate collected on the Apple Watch to the screen, and that's a pretty neat feature. But just note that Apple Fitness Plus does require a subscription. So I'm going to wrap up this video by kind of just talking about the general experience of using these watches. So the Series 7, it's a seamless extension to your iPhone and mirrors a lot of functionality from your phone. Although it does have a lot of health, sports, and fitness tracking features, which actually are very accurate, I still think that it's a smartwatch first. And with the Venu 2 Plus, this is more health and fitness focused first, with a lot of features built straight out of the box. And although it does have a lot of smartwatch features, it's not going to be as seamless extension to your phone. The addition of the microphone and speaker on the Venu 2 Plus may not seem like a big deal, especially if you're coming from something like an Apple Watch, but being able to use that microphone for voice dictation to reply to text with Siri is really huge for the Venu 2 Plus and makes this a really compelling option compared to an Apple Watch if you want a fitness device first. All right, so I'm guessing that this is a pretty long video at this point, and that's everything at least on my list, but if you have anything additional to add, definitely leave a comment down in the comment section down below. And if you like the video, if you found the information in this video useful, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel for plenty more sports tech videos that are coming soon. In the meantime, have fun out there, and we will see you in the next video.